Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are recapping soul plan that we have seen in the weeks before, and this will conclude our series. Now, in soul plan, one very important factor is karma, which is lack or absence of balance experience. Balance means, like a coin, it has two sides. So in karma, we are trying to experience both. For example, in one situation, I'm giving care, means I'm taking care of someone who's sick, not well. And in other, someone I'm sick and someone is taking care of me. So this is called balance of karma. In one situation, I am maybe rich and I'm donating money. In another, which could be in the same life, or it could be a previous or a next life, I'm experiencing lack, means I'm like a beggar and someone is donating to me. So this is called balancing. Now, one may experience both, but you need to release the karma. What do we mean by releasing the karma? Means in both the situation, whether receiving or giving, I have to learn that I've gone through that emotion. How does it feel? Then only this will be released. Otherwise, this story will go on. For example, if I'm donating money and I'm full of ego, I think that I am the biggest person, I am the richest person, and I'm not learning from that experience, I'm not completing my experience. Or when I'm, say, playing the role of a beggar, if I'm not learning what it feels to live in a lack situation, I'm only complaining, whining. So no learning means I have to do it over again. So that's why it is so important to understand whatever your situation is, good or bad, whatever we call it, for soul, it is just an experience. Not only you go through it, learn from it. Then you balance and you keep going. Otherwise, you will be experiencing same problem again and again. So once you release the karma, you are kind of healing yourself. Wherever there are holes left, you did not learn those emotions. That's what we are trying to do. Now, when we help others, service, volunteer, it's really a very good way, accelerated path. So you do complete your learning much faster. And there are three levels at which the soul thing works: the spirit self, the universe level. Soul self means your soul level, and the physical body. Now, physical body is the one which is only in this incarnation. That means it start and end in this human life. The soul continues because soul is nothing but energy, and we cannot create or destroy energy. Now, regarding the false belief, the soul is attracting those situations which will help us to learn and overcome. What will happen as we go through our life? There are different events which will take place, and as the repeated positive experience happens in our life, it will reinforce that no, actually you are good, and you will overcome those beliefs. For example, I feel I am not good in communication. So when I'm improving on this, I will have a feeling that today I did better. Some days or weeks later, I will again have a feeling, yes, I'm working, it's working, and now I'm communicating better. So when I'm having this positive feeling again and again, now I'm getting rid of the belief, the false belief that I'm not good in communication. I cannot just stand in front of mirror and tell myself, no, 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 you are good, and end of the story. No, the body has to go through it. Now, to really release this karma or this whole belief, you have to address at this feeling level. That's why just saying it is not enough. Now, what happens in the concept of contrast? that soul first experience the opposite of what it wants to learn. Why it does that sometimes? Because by experiencing the opposite, it comes towards what is planned to be learned. So, for example, if a soul wants to be, wants to experience spirituality, wants to be among the community or people who are spiritual, so the person may take birth in a family which is very chaotic. Everybody's fighting and yelling, screaming, and that experience will make the soul turn towards spirituality. So this is the contrast. These life challenges actually balance the soul. It balances the person, the personality, physical body, and then the soul. What we call suffering could be a means of awakening. But that doesn't mean that one shouldn't do everything to learn in a different, more joyous ways. So we call it suffering. For soul, it is just an experience. But it is to make us learn something. Now, the greatest healing is when you are, working on something and leaving it to the universe. So we say like full moon, very good time right now, full moon is coming. So you can ask a question and leave it to the universe. Hey, you can say, this is not clear to me. This is what I want to know through some experience, images, whatever. And because we are working, we have to go through this experience, then only we learn. That's the reason we are not born with all the history, every information that this is your past life, this is your soul plan. Because imagine if you are born with everything, then there is no learning. You already know what to do and you will rush towards experiencing, check. It will become a checklist. So one of the most important things one has to do is move out of this victim consciousness. Stop blaming you that, oh, I'm in this situation, I will never be good, nothing good ever happens to me, I'll never be successful. All those things, victim consciousness, go away. Dissolve your judgment. Stop judging people. Don't have any anger towards your soul that, why did you plan this tough life? No, you have to experience both. Get rid of any resistance which you are not ready to accept. Because what you resist persists. And then you will see that, emotions like fear, anger, and all those things are creating the suffering. We are here to heal. So if you are resisting any particular aspect of life, you are resisting your healing also, because you have to experience both good and bad. So don't think I will have only good things in my life. Nothing should go against my wish. Then your learning will not be complete. Now the question is how to identify your soul plan. Is there an easy way that you can? Yes, because your challenges typically run counter, means opposite to your hope, your expectation. That's why we call them challenges. We stay in denial mode that no, this cannot be, and I cannot be in this situation. So think, find, is there any contrast in your life? Do you have a feeling that I'm going to beat this life challenge? That should not be. Learn from it. Don't have this angry feeling of I'm going to beat this life challenge. Find if you have any victim consciousness, means are you blaming everything on someone else? And if you have resistance, not accepting anything particular, then yes, you should know this. So these are the starting simple exercise. You are just looking in your own life and see, do you have this or not? The brain may say sometimes, no, you don't have this problem. You have to think hard. Don't take it as a problem. Just take it as an exercise that, okay, this will help me understanding what it is. So first, in order to identify your soul plan, jot down. I just prefer writing it down, but if you want verbal, some people it may work. Is a good idea to write it down. So first question, start writing it down, that what is it that when you do that particular thing, your really heart is pumping, singing and dancing. What is it? So things that may repeat it in your life, think deeply and just write them down. You want to go back in your memory lane as back as possible and identify what had happened, whatever you remember, the situation, the environment, things like those. So this is what is along your expectation. That means something makes you happy. Okay. Also, you need to see what is it that makes you sad. Again, anything that may have repeated in your life, write it down, go back. You may have to ask your siblings, your parents, hey, do you remember anything and all that? That's all okay. But find out what makes you sad. So first you saw what makes you happy, and then now what makes you sad. Then you have to identify your biasness and judgment. So what happens is all the judgment that we do of others is, in a way, you are self-judging. If you did not have that trait that you are judging in others, you will be either unable to recognize it in another person, or you will not judge if you see it. So when we are judging someone, say suppose I'm always judging people for the way they dress, the way they talk, speaking, or their, any kind of peculiarity that they may have. That means somewhere it is related to me. Again, go back the same question, but find out what is it in you that relates to it. Because the biasness about something or judgmental, this is our coming for nature. Nature comes because of certain factors, your thought process. Very important thing. When you are writing all this down, identify what is it that is repeating in your life and increasing intensity over time. Extremely important. Cannot neglect this. For example, suppose today I have a small cut. Next week, it's a major cut. I may have to go for stitches. Then after some time, I break my bone. And now it is a multiple fracture kind of thing, or I'm straight in ICU. So you see, not only these things are repeating, means my health issues, something to do with my physical health is repeating, and the intensity is increasing. Now, this is something you want to do right away. You don't want to waste time. You want to work on it. So things sometimes, you have acknowledged but not accepted. Somebody has made you realize that, okay, you have anger issue. So you may have acknowledged you have an anger issue, but you have truly not accepted that, yes, I understand, I accept. So you have to think deeply, write them down. Again, same thing, go back to your memory lane, identify whatever situation, event that you remember, right? And it will help you in overcoming. But this one is really critical. Okay. Then write down your false beliefs that I'm always, having this kind of feeling. That's your false belief. I'm not good in communication. I'm not good in this. I'm not good in that. All those are false beliefs. Suffering that we are so afraid of is actually our true friend, because suffering tells you what is it that it's related to. So what emotion your suffering is highlighting, that means your suffering will say it is happening because of this emotion. Again, contrast, remember, it could be opposite, whichever way, but find out which emotion is getting highlighted, because you need to work on that. Stop blaming others. Stop blaming, anything and everything. That is never mine. It's always others' issue. So these two things you have to keep it in mind. Now, what you have to do? You have to do more of what makes you sing. Remember, we talked about your heart, what makes your heart happy, and welcome new things which can make you sing. That means you have understood yourself, okay, I love doing this, or, I love going there, whatever. Accept and overcome things that makes you sad. Things are happening, you can't help everything. Accept. You will see it will work like magic. Slowly and slowly, those things will start in intensity or frequency coming down. You have already identified some points regarding your biasness, judgmental nature. Work on it. This will give you really a very good place to start. And as you're working on these topics, always give first priority to the things that are repeating and increasing intensity. You can work on items which are repeating but not increasing in intensity later on. If you have even a single point which is increasing intensity along with repetition, that is the number one thing you want to work on. So never hate, dislike, or any negativity against a person or a situation. In fact, thank them that they are your best friend. They are helping you. Very extremely important. And we have to be very clear about that. Yes, this is related to my soul plan. That's why it is happening, whatever is happening. And this way, masters, in a very simple way, you can decode what is your soul plan. You can work, most importantly, learn the lesson, what it is trying to teach you. Only when you learn the lesson, you clear that topic and you're ready to go to next. That means you're moving towards nirvana. Otherwise, you'll keep spinning your wheels. So, masters, if anyone has any question about soul plan, please feel free to unmute yourself. This was the recap, summarized version of all the sessions we had before and the last session in this series. If you want to share any experience, you can do that as well.
Sir, I'd like to ask you something.
Sure.
It might be unrelated to today's topic, but it's just that if at all we have you told that we have lended some money to others, then in the next life we will have to come back to, even if we have done the good deed, we will have to come back to balance the karma. Yeah. So the next thing I want to ask, if at all we have done the seva and we don't want the return, then uh, will we have to come back, or it will be just balanced?
So, Mamtaji, why are you worried about it?
Say again, sir.
Why are you worried about it?
No, I'm not worried. I'm just
No,
asking
no.
it casual.
There's a reason I'm asking.
Yeah.
So, is
It
it
is a
is this
question which my brother-in-law asked. So he said,
okay?
yeah,
Now that explains. So it's not your question, but you're asking for
yeah,
someone. That's okay. That's perfectly okay. So
yeah.
how it works? The soul needs to go to nirvana, right? That is your final destination.
Hmm.
You have to experience both side of everything.
Totally.
So, right? So once I have to experience, say, lack of money means someone will be giving me. That means I may be a beggar.
Hmm.
Once I have to experience as rich, as I'm donating. Okay. So
Hmm.
nothing wrong in both. I have to experience both. If I am today abundant money situation and I'm donating someone, there is nothing wrong in the next lifetime if it comes back to me. Nothing wrong. Because the point is to experience how it feels when you do go through that particular act. So it's
Hmm.
not a question of good or bad. We should not think that, I have done ekdam seva ki and I don't want anything in return.
In return. Hmm.
It is the right way of doing seva, not to
Hmm.
expect that, because then
Hmm.
only you learn. If you are doing seva but have a lot of expectation, then you are not learning. You
Yeah.
have to do it again.
Hmm.
So that's the answer to this question. We should not be worried what next, because we do not know. Maybe we have already done,
Totally.
right? We don't know which one is first. Am I receiving first
Totally.
or I'm donating first?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So all you can say for sure is this is what my current situation is, and I have to
Uh,
experience this. That's what you can say
uh,
for sure.
yeah, what he asked was that then we should not do even the good deeds because because then we'll have to come back to take that back. Receive that thing back. So he was asking that. It was just his doubt, and we were discussing
No.
something, and his doubt was this. So,
And nothing wrong in it. Is
uh,
absolutely good that he asked that question, so thank him for
yeah,
that. But the
yeah.
answer is, how do we know this one is the first or the second part of the story?
Totally, yes. That answers my question. But if it is first, then we will have to come back. That is what. Uh,
Yeah, but we don't know it's first or next. If you don't complete
right.
and this was your
Yeah.
second, then what?
Then what? Right. Yeah.
And is nothing is wrong in first or second, you have to do both.
Right. Right.
So it's not like one side is better than the other. No,
Right.
society may say, society
Uh-huh.
feels that if the rich person is good and the poor fellow must have done some bad karma. That's how
Right.
typically people think.
Right.
But for soul, it is
Huh.
not so.
Okay. Great, sir. So, thank you, sir.
Welcome,
Yeah,
Mamta ji.
sir, I also very thankful to you. Now I come to know that everything has happened because of some reason,
Yes.
as you said, and the suffering is our real friends. We should learn from our sufferings that these I have come for experience only, and the person who is responsible for all these, we should be thankful for all those who had accepted our request for our experience only. They had behaved like that. So this I understood today. It's a very good experience from your uh, all what you had shared with us. And one more thing, sometimes, as you said, we should not be judgmental. Sometimes being in human, we become judgmental. How to learn to not to be judgmental? We have to kindly guide with the.
So that's a very good question, Ramaji. And actually, you had two-part discussions. So if I go to the first part, where you were talking about if when things are against us, people who are kind of, we say ki pareshan kar raha hai or troubling me,
Hmm,
and
hmm.
we should thank them,
Yeah,
right? So, cons- like we were just talking to Mamta ji before, we will experience both the tough side and the easy side. So when the tough means we are getting trouble or what we call trouble, that's okay, as you already mentioned. But I want to reiterate that when you are on a positive side, positive means again for the physical body, that means you are in abundance. It's very important what Deepti ji is sharing in her background, which is gratitude. Because when you are in abundance and you do not have gratitude, you will not learn. That means you are full of ego and, I am driving the bus, I am the driver. And when something goes wrong, we blame the Upar wala or, what's happening, someone else's fault, not mine. So that's what. When you are in good situation, be grateful, gratitude. And when you are in any tough situation, thank those people because of which you are learning this. Now,
yeah. It means we need to be do gratitude in every situation. For
Perfect.
every situation, yeah.
Perfect. When you are in a tough situation, gratitude to the people who accepted to do this negative role in our life.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who wants to play villain? Everybody wants to be a hero, right? Everyone wants to be Shah Rukh Khan. Nobody wants to play
Yeah, definitely.
the villain part, right? So
Hmm.
you have to thank to them that, you accepted this role in my life. Right. Now comes the judgmental part. So judgmental nature tells us that this problem we had ourselves sometime, past life or whatever, and now we are seeing others from that perspective. So again, acknowledging that you have done this mistake, what you are thinking others are doing the mistake, because that's what you judge. Oh, look at this, how the person dress, or how does he talk, or whatever. Understanding that it is a learning helps you in accepting people as is. The problem starts because we don't accept people as is, we start judging them. So if we accept we are all pure souls, then there is nothing to be judged. All souls are equal. There is no good or bad. So this is the most important part of the learning, that human body, human incarnation is only for this life. It will be left behind here only. What carries forward is only the energy, which is the soul. So when we come next time, our shape, size, appearance, and everything will be different. So it helps that, yes, even understand in other way is, even I have like a coin, some good and some not so good things in my characteristic. So it's so easy to point fingers at others. Standing here, I can tell millions of people, you have this problem, you have this problem. Right? It's the easiest thing. I don't need any education to point fingers at others. But that is the beauty of it. That is the part of the personality, part of human life. Mixed scenario. It's always a mixed bag. So the moment we take life like this, it's easy to be not judgmental. Accept people as is. And remember what we were talking before, whatever we don't like, take it that, yes, this is why the person has this, because to teach me something.
Hmm. This is otherwise, I think, the better way to live a happy life, to accept
Absolutely.
people as they are.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you, sir. Very deeply explained this. Thank you very much.
Sir, I wish to ask one question.
Sure, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, you were telling you we have to witness what is repeating in our life and increasing in intensity over time. So, I found that I just wrote down it's my weight and it's my joint pains, which has been increasing in intensity and in repeating in over a period of time. And another thing which I could write down is my tolerance has increased. I acceptance has increased, but positively also there are many positive points which I can see which has increased. So how to in action plan? Then I have to look at this. Then like how to work upon it? Like there are positive increments also. There are some negative things also, if we call them negative. So how to go about it, like in action plan?
So, Diptiji, first, we differentiate things.
Hmm.
Right? So, first, what has improved means positive. Say your patience level has increased.
Hmm.
So there is nothing that you have to work because it is increasing intensity. You are already doing work. It's a positive result of that. So, put that one aside. Okay. So, anything which is going positive in the right direction, you put them aside. You are already working on it.
Hmm.
Out of the two, which are may not be as per your wish, one is the weight. But
Hmm.
weight, put it aside. Don't worry. Weight is not an emotion. Weight creates emotion, but weight itself is not an emotion,
Okay.
right? The people who we call, say, overweight, right? When people look and say, oh, look at you, reduce some weight. Same person will meet someone who's thin, and the same person will say, hey, why don't you eat something, man? Look at you. You are like Papa, or you are like this, you are that. So people are commenting either way.
Yes, sir.
So weight, don't worry. It doesn't matter what your weight is. Someone will comment, depends who the other person is. If a sumo wrestler comes in front of you, sumo wrestler will tell you, why don't you eat something?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? But on the other side, if someone who's running marathon or some athlete comes very lean and thin, then that person may say something differently. You are the same person. So it's not you, it's the other's problem, how they look at you. So don't worry about the weight part. Yes, you talked about joint pain. That is something you need to work on. Where the pain is coming from, your emotions. Arthritis and all comes from your emotions, overanalysis, overthinking, finding faults in people around you. That's where the arthritis comes from. You are never happy, you are never satisfied. I mean, you means in general for arthritis, I'm saying, right? So you have to see out of all these scenarios because of which the joint pain or arthritis comes, what applies to you. Not necessarily everything will apply. You see, okay, what is it? Suppose you say, yeah, I'm really over analyzing, I'm over worried for others. Then you say, how was it 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years? And you can see some increasing intensity because of age, because of whatever, that yes, now I do more worrying about kids because they've grown up, their career and whatnot. Doesn't matter what the story is. You have to decode. Pain is for sure because of emotions. What emotions? Overthinking, overanalyzing, and all those things, right? Judgmental, all those negative things. And then you see, did it really increase in intensity? If the answer is yes, you have the answer. If you say, no, I still cannot find anything which explains why this increasing, start with something you can identify. Let the time tell you the remaining. So you can see, yes, actually, I can see 5 years ago, I was not so much worried, but now I think too much about my parents because now they have aged, they are in different city, different country, right? Or it could be your kids, now they're growing, whether they will get good admission in university or not, and all. You will know what it is. No one else can tell you. Whatever that factor is, start working on that. Out of all these examples, that's the only thing you should.
Okay.
Because if you stop when it is, say, just starting or recently started, it's relatively easier. When you let it go for a long time, it becomes chronic. Anything which has become chronic will take more time to heal. So why not, recognize as soon as possible and fix it before it becomes chronic? It will be solved, but it will take more effort.
And I can sit in meditation and ask myself, like my higher self, like, tell me what is that which I'm holding back, or which is which I'm resisting to, which I'm not able to identify. Please help me.
Absolutely. Full moon, new moon, perfect time. Right now, actually a full moon time. So today, tomorrow, day after, right? These 3-4 days have high energies. And be ready to interpret or acknowledge any indication, any kind of symbol you get from the universe, whether dream, whether some image, people come to you talking about something, can give you a hint. It could be anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, I know at the beginning you were talking about that emotional baggage workshop. So if you remember, the very first activity was to write down your 24 hours chart on that Excel file. This is exactly what you need to do. You will know what emotion it is if you are true to yourself, because the brain will say, no, don't worry, you are not doing anything wrong. It will try to take you away from the problem or the real issue. You be genuine because you are only helping yourself, no one else. Identify what emotions you are repeating. Within a couple of days, you will know that, yes, these are repeating 1, 2, or 3 of them. Whichever is happening most frequently, means one maybe 3 times a day you are thinking. One could be 10 times a day. So then the one which is 10 times a day.
The emotion will differ. Like when I did that exercise, that time I was undergoing something else. Some different kind of experience was going on in my life. So I jotted down and I wrote like a feeling of abandonment or not being loved, like that, those kind of emotions I was feeling more frequently. So I wrote that down. And but now it has been a month, I believe. So now the
Mhm.
emotions are different. If I'll write it now, I'm what I'm going through, or I in which mindset I wrote this, I think that will be different. Then sir.
See, till the time you say, now I do not feel about abandonment or anything, then that's fine. That is gone. But if still you have that feeling, but the intensity may have come down or the same level, but something else has come up much stronger than that, whatever that situation is, find that out. And anything that is consistent for a long time, that's what you need to work on. So maybe something new came up, which is only for this week. It may go away next week. But this other feeling is continuing for, say, years. Then you need to work on that first. So that's how you work. Pick one thing at a time. Don't start three together. It will be overwhelming, challenging. Take one at a time. If permit, pick second. But if you think one is good enough, continue. Work on it before you jump on the next. Don't take too many at the same time.
Thank you so much,
Okay?
sir. Right.
You're welcome. Great question and insight. I mean, every question gives you a little bit deeper. So I guess we are towards the end of it. If any last question, we can squeeze in. Otherwise, certainly I'll thank all of you for organizing and putting this together. Not only people who participated, but I guess through YouTube or other media also, they will get help of understanding the soul plan. So thanks to PM and C Africa, all of your team. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very
Great
much
session, sir.
for your
Gratitude, sir. Thank you so
thank-
much.
deep gratitude, sir.
Deep
Thanks.
gratitude.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.